I just heard some awesome news. Mandy's dad became a Christian yesterday.
But Tony, I thought he was a Christian. He goes to church every Sunday and prays in church and teaches Bible classes.
He thought he was a Christian too, but after hearing about Nicodemus, he understood for the first time that he was trusting in the wrong thing.
So what was he trusting in?
Well, remember how Nicodemus thought he was automatically part of God's kingdom because he was a Jew, and how, as a Pharisee, he tried really hard to keep all the commandments and did lots and lots of good deeds?
You mean the Jews thought just because they had been born a Jew, they were part of God's kingdom?
Right. Not only that, Nicodemus thought he would have a special place in the kingdom because he was a Pharisee who obeyed God's commandments.
In other words, he was a goody-goody.
Plus, Nicodemus was an important teacher of the Old Testament. He was a super important religious person in Jerusalem.
But Jesus told Nicodemus that to be part of God's kingdom, he had to be born again, or born from above.
Exactly, Jazz. For years, Mandy's dad was like Nicodemus, believing that because he had grown up in a Christian home and had tried to do what the Bible said, that he was a Christian.
Tony, that's just like me. I've always believed what the Bible says, but last year I realized that just knowing about Jesus wasn't enough.
Exactly. That's what Mandy's dad said. He had never trusted completely in Jesus to forgive his sins. He had been trusting in what he knew and his good works. He fooled himself and others into believing he was a Christian when he wasn't.
I'm glad he's a Christian now.
Me too. It took a lot of courage for him to admit to the church that he had been trusting in the wrong thing for his salvation.
But think about how his story will cause lots of others to make sure they are trusting in what Jesus did on the cross for salvation and not church attendance and good works.
You're right. Lots of people need to hear what happened in his life.
Just like we need to be telling our friends what Jesus has done for us.
Kids, if you are a child of God, I hope you are telling others what Jesus has done for you. Bye.